All right, on this edition of Film Breakdowns, we're going to take a look at James Hudson out of Cincinnati, a left tackle, a very physically gifted human being. He is sort of the epitome of what I was talking about in my prior video in regards to Liam Eichenberg. This is a guy with a lot of upside, more upside, I would say, than Liam probably has. But there's a lot of still bust potential here with this kid. I think he is still raw. I think he needs a lot of technical refinement to get his game on point. But I'm intrigued by this because when you look at right now our left tackle and right tackle situation, we're actually somewhat okay for that, at least for this year. We need a guy for depth. We need a guy in case of injury. Shell got injured last year for a couple games. Dwayne Brown definitely has had an injury history over his career, and he's going to be turning 35, 36 years old here. So you need to have another guy in behind there to fill on in. And I think this guy could potentially be that cat. I'd be much happier with this guy selected than potentially Liam Eichenberg. I think you can maybe even get him into that third round range of things. So if Seattle wanted to trade back in the second round, they could potentially still pick this guy. And I think he'd be a great prospect for them if they did. A real true developmental left tackle in the respect of a developmental tackle with true Pro Bowl potential. So let's dive on in here to Mr. Hudson. All right, so we've got Mr. James Hudson here in front of us. And of course, he is going to be our left tackle here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. The program's come along pretty well here recently. They were kind of one of the dregs when I was coming up of the college football out there, but they now this season they got up to 9-0, up to the 8th ranked here in this past season, this past odd year, and they're playing this game, Georgia. So one of the reasons I chose this tape is it's got a fun little moment here with Mr. Hudson about halfway through, where he comes out of the game for some interesting reasons. But he also plays pretty good in this game, and I thought I'm going to try out for the most part with these film breakdown sessions to if we can find tape of a player going up against upper level competition or even NFL level potential competition. We want to gravitate towards that if we can because we get a good idea about him. How does he do against going up against guys that are not going to be real estate agents in 4 years from now? And in this particular game, he's going up against Aziz Ojulari, a guy who is a very talented pass rushing defensive end. He's a good overall player, not just a pass rusher, I would say, but very twitchy, good get off. I expect him to be drafted very high in this next draft, somewhere in the neighborhood of probably a late first round to early second round pick, probably about the fourth or fifth edge rusher to go off the board in this particular draft. But he's a good, solid player. Reminds me a little bit of a Chris Clemens type. So this is going to challenge our Mr. Young Hudson. Not all the time is he lined up with Ojulari across from him. Of course, they tried to move Ojulari off of Hudson, I think, to try to potentially get him on a weaker parts of the offensive line for Cincinnati. But nonetheless, they were matched up quite a bit in this game. It's a fun little matchup to watch here. And so keep your eyes up on the left tackle for Cincinnati. Little stunt game right off the gate. They're going to keep them right on their toes. All right. Nice job. Just quick throw. Not much there to be done. There's a lot of quick throws here in this passing attack by Cincinnati. They're not usually going to spend a lot of time on deep drops or long developing plays, which makes it a little harder to assess. And this is one of those ones where it's just the quarterback's looking gross there a little bit. All right. Sets up in pass protection. See that it's kind of low key. Just mirrors well. Gets into his set. Locks his man out, doesn't give any ground. The thing that jumps out to him in his pass protection sets, as much as anything, is that despite being raw, he is very good about the second he gets his hands on you, he's not giving up any ground. He doesn't get really bull rushed much or anything like that. Nice job there, getting a man out wide. This is another one of his little skills. We're going to go back on this one again here. One of the things he does I like really nicely about it, and it work well in the scheme, is that he gets good width in the run game. So a lot of guys are just going to come right up and block the guy, and it looks a little bit like that from that angle. But watch the second angle as he gets just a little bit of width. Doesn't get stuck outside. That width, and we'll run it back a little bit here, but what that width supplies the running back to do as long as other guys are doing their blocking job is to maybe give him a two-way go if that guy, as he did there, overran it. The running back didn't even look to come inside. But you see that on his tape here in a couple of games I watched where he does a good job run blocking, especially if you're going to get on like an outside zone where he can get a couple cheat steps almost to get a little bit of a head start to the defensive end to the edge, which is part of his plus athleticism that he brings to play at the position. There we go. Handled the pass rush well. Got his hands inside. Clean, just like you'd like. Short yardage stuff, he's okay in. Power is not really his game going forward as much. He is, to me, going to be a left tackle only at the next level, really, at the end of the day. But that can come along too. Power can come along a little bit more as you have some time to develop. Again, good kick step. Guy gives him a little bit of a hump move here. You see, watch the hump move here on the left side as he comes around. The defensive tackle, actually, 3-tech comes out and hump moves him. He handles it okay. The defensive tackle in this game at times gave him a little bit of problems. This guy, when he 95 comes out of his, sorry, I'm going to go back a little bit so it has a chance to load here. But when 95 comes out of his stance on a few different occasions here, he definitely can get a little bit of the better of our guys. And there it is. Got that little hump move. Didn't full on beat him, but if that quarterback's sitting back there for a little more time and it's not a sack by everybody else, it could be an issue there. Gets his man on the ground in pass protection. You always like that. Pancake and pass protection will get the job done. Again, quick throws, hard to assess on these type of plays. He does well, but you're not asking a lineman to do a lot. Kind of gets down the down block. It's okay. Running away from him a little bit. Again, he's going to try to pull out, just gets stuck behind. What happens there is 58 gets blown off the ball, which puts a man in front of him. So he has to take a little more fortuitous route to get around him. I'm not going to knock him on that one as much. He can pull in space fine. He doesn't always get to his guy on target, but he can certainly pull in space. It's built within his game. Nice lockout. Good job. Again, no problems there. Come down the defensive. Now he's out in space. And this is, again, just what I was talking about a second ago. We're going to watch this play just a couple of times here. You see him out in space here, but oh, let me grab your leg. Couldn't get the block, so I'm going to grab your leg instead here, my guy. Again, you love it here because when you look at this play, we're going to pause it here. The running back's got the ball, or in this case, I guess it's the tight end's got the ball on this screen. Now, he's going to be a problem coming up here, but you can just see we've got our guys getting out into space. Look how far down he's gotten. He doesn't lay the block. The guy sidesteps him down, but he has the ability to get down there 10 yards out ahead on a given play. Again, back it up just a little bit here, but you see him when he gets out like this. This is the part that tantalizes me, is the thought process of getting this guy really this far out in space where he can use that movement ability, but he's got to get the block down. And you can watch on this play one more time. Watch number 3 here, Campbell. Come up, just sidestep our guy kind of easily at that point, leave him just kind of clutching for air. And you do see that on him when he gets in the second level. So he's got the speed, which a lot of guys wouldn't have to get there, like Eichenberg that we pointed out to recently, doesn't have the gear to get there, but he's got to be able to still then land it and not just get whiffed, which is the second part of the deal. It's a sort of a two for on that one. So again, just some kind of ugly plays here by the Cincinnati offense a bit. Sets up, they're going to move the pocket a little bit. Pressure's getting a little bit intense. It's not really coming from Hudson's side, but they're moving Ojulari all over the place too. So it's not just that bubble screen. A lot of quick passes. Oh, here we got a blitz. Overload the right side. Nice job by the quarterback. Just run around to give him some time. And then nothing's there. Nothing on him here. He's got a stunt game. Here comes that defensive end. You see that end kind of gives him a little bit of that. That was a little more of a sub hump move. He gave him the full hump move before, but that one is sub. Ojulari, bang, right out the back door of the pocket. He'll round you through the arc. He'll not let you touch the quarterback or even make the quarterback uncomfortable. And he's got that all day. That's in his skill set. This, of what just happened to him just now when he got a holding penalty, is also in his skill set. And that is he has some trouble with counter moves. So in this play, bam, I'll get you out of the pocket. No problem. This play, Ojulari comes back inside and right inside. Catches him oversetting, catches him on the counter at the end. This does pop up occasionally. I don't think it's something that you're just going to beat him with over and over again. But you can see it's never good when the guy's got a head start on you and you're holding on to his shoulder pads, hoping somebody doesn't notice in the scrum. This is a little bit of his game. It is a little bit there. You see it next play, bam. Again, on the very next play after what I'm talking about, here comes a guy again inside where a little overset, bam, you're wide open here. You can't fortunately enough, the quarterback gets the ball out of his hands, but you've got to be able to trust your athleticism here, is what I would tell James. Like, you're going to get out there and get to Ojulari. He ain't going to get around you. You have the makeup speed from a tackle standpoint. To, even if he's got a just incredible get off, you should be able to get back into it. So you don't need to panic. You don't need to do something that you shouldn't do. Just stay in the pocket of things. And he does a little bit at times want to just get that little bit of that head start to the edge, which he doesn't really need because he's so athletic. Some good reps here, good pass protection. We're going to see that key moment I was talking about coming up here. It's going to come up right here. Quarterback scrambles over. Watch Mr. Hudson here. Stays with the play, tells his quarterback, come on, come on. First lead blocks, keeps him off his quarterback, and then comes up and says, hello. Now, it unfortunately got cut right as this was going through. But let's play this back. It's one of my favorite plays of what he did in this game. Not favorite because he's kind of head hunting there, but just watch him. He will lay the block first on this play, get his block done. A little help there. Notices his quarterback scrambling. How can I help? He says, come here. Comes back up, lays the block, comes back in, finishes with a little attitude. That's a heady player. That's a smart player. That's a player playing with hustle. This is what we want to see out of players, along with being gifted. I love that pairing and combo when you see that in a player. So again, just to watch one more time, badly got ejected, but you see him block with this guy, notices the quarterback is running around, says, oh, hell, come here. Come on. Gets out in front to lead block. Bam, gets that guy there, and then see ya. Boop. Now, he got ejected for this, of course. This knocked him out of the game for the rest of the game. But still, we got a good enough little bit of play there to kind of see how he did against Ojulari. Held up pretty good there. The rest of this line didn't do as well here against Georgia in this particular game. But let's just take a quick snapshot of another one of his games he played, because this one he was only in for 2 quarters. All right, we got another game here for you. We're not going to go all the way through this particular one, but I just want to do another little kind of a snapshot of James in this game. Of course, playing that left tackle position at the top of your screen here as we start things out. Back this up a little bit. This is against UCF, so a fairly decent program. They're not bad. They've definitely sent some NFL talent to the NFL recently, including, I believe, this is where Shaquille Griffin went to school, I think, the Griffin brothers. But I thought, again, this might give us a little better snapshot here. He's not going against the same level of competition that he did before in Ojulari in this game. But still, you get a chance to kind of look at his feet a little bit, get a feel for what he's doing. Again, just kind of notice his ability. Nice kick step out there, locks his man, doesn't give up a lot of ground. This is the type of thing here. Just boom. He keeps the arc clean. See, everything else around that pocket is getting dirty and messy. His side, not messy. This is the definition of a beautiful blind side protector. Here he's out running in space. You can't see him, but if that play broke down 20 yards, he would have been down there hustling. Sets up again. We're kind of playing some games. Again, unless the rest of the line kind of fails out. Really here, the left guard should have gone inside instead of taking James's man. So this is really on the left guard in that, because the rest of that blocks up a lot better. There's not a free runner. Quarterback kind of does this spaz out. I'm going to freak out and run thing, which he does occasionally. Okay, down the second level, gets a hat on a man, looks good. It's not going to drive the man once he gets in the second level. You usually like the guys I want you to pancake him. You got 50 pounds on the guy, 60 pounds on the guy. He'll just kind of lay his hat in there, but he gets it done. Little down block to the 3-tech, pins him. That'll work. Sets out, little stunt game, handles the stunt well. Gets in on the first guy, redirects back out on the second guy. I like it. One of these Cincinnati Bengal Bearcat quick passes. Okay, ready for the guy inside there. He was trying to help his guy there, and you can see he kind of puts that arm out to try to dissuade the guy from his little swap move he did on the guard. The guard's not having the best game here. Oh, there we go, that inside counter, and you see him slap his hands. He knows, I got to clean up that inside counter game, man. I got to clean this up. You're right, dude. You got to clean it up. Well, missed the blitz there a little bit. He got caught inside. Should have seen the guy coming. Nice, nice. Look at him, hand fighting. Once he gets his hands on you, it's game over. He's going to stay in place. I mean, look, he's so far blocking the guy. you got all these guys pushing up into this guy's pocket. These guys are doing okay because there's two of them. He's doing great, 58 on this play, but he's doing so well. He's got his guy blocked out of the play on a pass play. This ain't a run block play. This is a pass protection play. That's the one thing that jumps out that it's unique to him is that when he gets you locked in pass protection, it's almost like he's a planted tree, roots right down. And guys just cannot get through his hands, his strength, his good feet. It's rough around the edges in parts of his game. He's not a driving run blocker, which may not appeal as much to Seattle, as they do like to at least have that be somewhat of a plus skill for you. But look again, just not getting anywhere. A guy twists back, turns back inside. He's trying a variety of different moves. No counters are working. He neutralizes counters all the time. Look at this guy just trying to do everything he can, just try to throw him. You can't move him off the spot. He really is so firmly down. That's what you want with those tackles too, because when the guys will give him the bull rush, if they've got the athleticism, that's how you theoretically beat the athletic tackle, is just hit him with bull. This is what happened with Bakhtiari a few years ago. Now here's a play I want to go back to. It's really subtle. I'm not going to hammer it too much here, but this is what I was talking about in how he gets out wide in run blocking. See that he gets those two cheat steps. They're not cheat steps in the respect of they're cheat steps of like he's doing something against the rules. They're cheat steps in the respect of he's getting a little bit wider to give the running back the two-way go. And so what's happening with this is that the running back takes the inside go here. We saw before the running back didn't see it before, didn't understand what he was kind of doing. Watch on this one. He gets out to here. And of course my thing messed up. But he gets out so nice and wide on this particular play. Right out to here is where he'll end up. Up. I'll go back a little bit more. So I really want to show this because this is something that's real nice within zone scheme to have a tackle that has this kind of ability to get out wide like that. It just gives that running back, usually now on this type of play, you're not going to have that inside route given to you by that tackle. And I'm sorry, my playing is not showing it great here, but we're going to pause it. I'm going to show you real quickly because normally what happens on this type of play is you get a tackle who's going to come off ball and he's going to take a direct line to that because he's not going to trust his speed or his feet or his quickness to get to that defensive end. He won't. Now, this is trained, obviously, potentially by their offensive line coach, but it requires a guy with his skill set foot-wise to get out to here. Instead of just coming straight down there, you want him to get out to here and then drive the man. And what the difference of this is that if you push down like that, he can now do what his initially most guys' jobs, they're going to be defensive ends in this position on a running play. Their first job, their first priority has got to be to set the edge. Force this running back to come back inside of the hole. Don't allow the running back to have space outside. So when my man here takes the extra couple steps, he does the tit, and the tat is that this man says, oh, hell, I need to get a couple steps because my responsibility to setting the edge has still been maximized, needed. So what does this causes now? The tit-tat-tit is you have them in a blocking point here, this far out, but now you have a hole created here because this guy's going to be flowing a little bit, get a little bit too wide out his gap. If the running back reads it right and there's a hole here, he gets his choice between what's the better hole, my inside hole or my outside hole. If he blocks it down, he sets that edge. He basically takes away the outside run. Or if the guy runs past him, he might even have a tackle for loss. So it's just a subtle little thing. And you look at the technique being played. This is a lot like Seattle's defensive front that they'd run. This is what our 4-3 under would look like, essentially, except the linebackers off the tight end. But you got that three guys squished to the strong side of the offensive formation. And here's your Leo out a little wider, out a little bit more, a little bit. He's going to challenge that guy's tackle on his shoulder a little bit more because of that. I'm going to play this just one more time because I want to. It's a subtle thing that really stands out to me in this game. Part of what tantalizes me with Hudson, it's not all these tackles can do this type of move. Most of them just take that straight line approach and call it a day. And when you can do it this way, that's how you can break some of these real big runs. You give running backs options now. Outside, locks him up. Guy ends up taking the outside leverage and allows himself to get blocked in the outside leverage and thrown into the sort of that outside point, but then gives up all the stuff inside. That's you force that defender's hand at that point. kind of going back and forth with it. It's a little pop pass that really doesn't do much. This is just those funky, weird, gadgety college offenses. And 88 had a tough game here against Hudson. See him right there, doesn't get anywhere. He just really struggled. 55 runs a nice route here, but falls down. Just can't keep his feet. Come on, buddy. Keep your feet. Get in there. There we go again. 90 comes up, goes down the second level. You see again that second level thing where he gets there and he arrives. He arrives at the guy, but then he can't get the block in. The guy just sidesteps around him on it. Come in under control. It's kind of like he doesn't understand his own speed and quickness sometimes. And there's just a beautiful block. His best block of the game at the point of attack. At the point of attack. See, this is his miss. You see him just miss there. It's just he'll get to you. He will arrive there to you, and he'll arrive fast. It's like he's lightning getting there. Just, oh, hey, I'm right back. I'm here. I'm in the backfield. I'm here. Oh, but you missed me. You under control. You're going to get there on time. You're too fast. You're too fast. Now watch this next play. He's going to down block and pin, and he's going to put this guy right in the dirt. Really in the dirt. You see that? Twists him, turns him. All that's legal. Nothing out of bounds with it. Just beautiful block, especially with him, because sometimes there's not a wow factor with him in the run blocking game. But this right here, in a second, not this one, but the next play, just beautiful. I love watching this. Just come on in. Oh my gosh, my tape's not letting me do it here. Go back. Sometimes YouTube with its playing thing. I just got to download these videos. Again, here, just the whiff of the second level. So you get the two things you see with him. This is a prospect for you, though. You know, they're not going to show you the clean stuff on every snap. It's not going to be as easy. Now, watch what he does on this play. Just goes right down, takes his man, bang, on the floor. First down. First and goal. Beautiful block. Then whiffs completely on the next block. So here we go. Just it's a back and forth a bit here, isn't it? Back and forth a little bit here. Just completely loses the block on that one. And that was an outside kind of move. He's been good in this game, but that was one wasn't his best right there. Nice set. Bam, you're locked out. You're not going to do anything. Kind of surprised at times. I think the quarterback just likes to drift to his right side so much, but he never really tries to drift back left. I think he'd have a lot better chances with James here if he did a little more drifting left. Again, good job in pass protection. Watch him here. He just sets up, clamps him down. You ain't doing nothing. It's a quick throw. Doesn't have to hold up for a very long period of time, but again, gives no ground in pass protection. No ground in pass protection. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Set up against 88, who just has a horrible day against him here. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. Nothing. Ooh, beast mode out there. You're a little bit more dominant tape. You're not playing against an NFL caliber guy like that. Just lock him up. I love it. Solid. Delivers that punch. Sets him back. Neutralizes all of the momentum by the player. It's good to see. It's really good to see. So I think we've got a good idea on him as a player here, basically. Good in pass protection. He gets beat on that inside move again there. He's got some holes to his game. He'll get into the second level, but he's going to whiff sometimes to the second level. He, again, inside counter moves are going to give him a little bit of an issue. He's got a good high motor. He's a heady player, I think. Still raw in some of his technique. He's getting by with athleticism here. He's not like Liam was with his hands. But I see upside here. I see things that are correctable. I can get him to play under control getting to the second level. I can tell him to be more patient with the inside counter stuff because he's oversetting. Those things are to me you can fix them. You can't teach raw athleticism. James Hudson, a real fun prospect to watch tape on. He is so athletic. He can surprise you out there a little bit like with that hook move, or sometimes by how far you'll see him down the football field blocking out in front. A lot of wow factor to this guy's game and a lot of upside to this guy's game. There is a lot of bust factor to his game as well, though. Can he correct the struggles with at times the inside counter move, which, by the way, didn't just show up in the Georgia game, but showed up in other tape that I saw as well? wasn't horrific. It wasn't like play after play guys were able to use it. You can put it in, you can sprinkle it in here, or you can sprinkle it in there. But within those little moments of struggles with that are a ton of moments of him being able to mirror and handle these real elite edge rushers very well. Be able to just essentially not have any worries as far as their speed or quickness, ability to bend. He can deal with all of that. From a hand fighting standpoint, you're really not going to be able to do much with him. He keeps his hands on you, and he's very hard to knock those hands off. Plus factors and traits to his game beyond just his athleticism that make me like him quite a bit as a prospect. And as I said before, when you're looking at a guy who's maybe a little bit of the complete opposite to a guy like Liam Eichenberg, where you're kind of shooting for the moon a little bit and for the potential, you're shooting for the, hey, maybe we've got a franchise tackle into the future here with this guy. And when I see a guy like James Hudson, I see a guy that to me draws a lot of parallels potentially to a guy like Dwayne Brown. Sort of a similar size to both of the same guys, both of them movement-based guys. You know, I don't think Dwayne Brown had played his best football in college. He was going to be playing his best football at the pro level. He hadn't tapped into that stuff. He was still a little bit, I think, raw as a prospect when he was first coming into the league and then really came along. I think the same potential is there with James Hudson. And though I wouldn't necessarily like to select him in the second round, if he is there probably in the third round, mid-third-ish or so, if we've traded back and collected some picks, I jump all over him. A very fun prospect and be a great addition to this team. A guy who as well could probably play a little bit of both left tackle and right tackle at the same time.